Good afternoon, everybody. Colleagues, I wanted to share something with you in case you want to start using Google Read and Write with your students. Here's an overview of all the different functions and ways we can use Google Read and Write to help students read, write, research, and organize their learning and information. On the Google Read and Write page, if you go to text help page, it will give you a brief overview of everything that it does, along with some great resources. And it also helps you to get this nifty little tab here that will show up in your Google Docs once you add the extension. Okay. The first thing I wanted to show you about Text Help and Google Read and Write in particular are some of the guides that they have for students and teachers. Very user friendly, describes and labels the functions that all of the different icons on your toolbar use. So that would be a great way for students to start learning about it, or you to start learning about it as we go on our learning journey. And another great document that they have is for writing, for all the different stages of the six writing processes and which tools go in for each process. For pre-writing, we could use Play and Read Aloud, Talking Dictionary, Picture Dictionary, Web Search, and Highlighters. As we get into publishing, we can use the Share via Google Drive or Print to PDF and everything in between there. The final resource that Text Help has put out for us is a great one for which areas of schooling that and which functions of Text Help or Google Read and Write might help you with. So, example, for elementary education, we have these functions here. Middle and high school, a few different ones. Again, in high school, struggling writers, struggling readers, English language learners, and for teachers as well, and how we can use that. So these resources are something that are really handy to use. I'll forward to those to you as well for your perusal. Although when I would implement Google Read and Write in my classroom, I would just get the students to install it and let them find out what all these different functions do. So having them play, explore, and create their own class document, Padlet, slideshow explaining the functions of Google Read and Write. It really might help with those metacognitive learning strategies and students recognizing what strategies they might learn best with and which tools help them to learn best. As we know, all our learners are individuals, so let them choose which tools work best for them. And the best way to do that is to play first. So some of the first tools I wanted to show you were for reading. And now Google Read and Write. Let me just clear that away. And right now, of course, it's not working. I'll try to clear the highlights. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is if we highlight some text here on the boa constrictor and we press play, we have the two-tone text that will slowly load.
The
And
boa's hunting technique is generally to ambush prey, such as rat.
okay, so the cool thing about that is that it gives students a two-tone excuse me, a two-tone method of reading to highlight the word that it's on as well as what sentence it's on that helps students track. And the customization menu in the settings helps students control the rate, how it reads, and even what type of voice it is. So those customization factors really help us make it individualized for students. And we'll get to the translation part in a minute of the settings. We can actually control all of the prediction checking, screen masking all through our settings, which come up as we're using our different functions. So the customization of it really makes it about the actual student. Okay. So the reading is the first tool that we can help us students access text in another way. Um, it also lets students read captions or pictures. If we use the screenshot reader, then that can give us something that we can, whoops, and then it's slowly loading and eventually it will read that to us. Okay, so that's one of the tools. The dictionary, if we're on a page and we're not sure what something means, okay, I'm going to go to dictionary. I'm going to highlight the word monkey and it will tell us what monkeys are in case the students can't read it. And then the other cool thing about the dictionary is we can have a visual dictionary. So for some of our emerging readers or maybe ELL students, or if it's just bigger vocabulary and concepts that might be new to students, we have a visual dictionary as well. This can all be put into a an actual dictionary as well, into a vocabulary list, which creates another, oh, no highlights found, okay. And there it goes, it takes us to what that means. Another thing that's cool for reading is if we go to the practice reading along function, we can click on that. And again, it opens it up in a new tab for us. And as we read along, it'll give us some instructions here. Click the record button to get started. Click stop when you're finished. This allows students to hear themselves speaking, develop fluency, and then even share it with their teacher, right? Share their awesomeness. This web page isn't the best example for reading, but for the purposes of this, here we go. And again, we have some of our functions as dictionary
PX,
and here.
DTGO, IYNBOJD equals
There we
SAT
go. We
I
will close
equals
that one.
4, 0, 4 cents equals 3 SEEYN Pacific
Now I
G.
got to find out where that's coming from. Okay, so the last thing, a couple more functions about reading that I really like are, if I'm on my web page again, the screen masking tool really kind of could help certain students function, or I mean, focus on parts of the text. We can control the screen masking in here. We can change the color of the reading light, all those
4
things that
equals 5
students
video shun
love
equals O
to
Pacific.
customize. Okay, so screen masking is another great tool. We'll get out of that and close screen masking. Final tool for reading.
TGS and ELEN registered BO and pound symbol 2
I
British
wonder where
pounds
this is reading
OI5 at
from.
XSSE average life.
Okay, another tool that I really like for reading is the Simplify page, which will open up our document again in a new page run by Text Help, where it will actually take out a lot of the visual noise of the page. And again, it gives us our toolbar, so we can use the dictionary function, the play, the highlighting, all are great functions again, but we've eliminated a lot of the visual noise in the page. And again, we have some options to discover text, change the black on white, and there we go. We see our new vocabulary that might be important for us, right? We can change the font, the spacing, all that good stuff as we simplify the page. Okay, so for example, if I go to snakes, it will give us all that information on snakes here. Boa constrictor again, more of that, what a photograph is, okay? All that stuff is there, which can really help our students read. The second one I thought I would do would be for writing, and I'll just go to the bottom of a blank document here to get started. And some of the writing tools, first one we can always use are the text to speech. So we click the headphone with the microphone button, talk and type. There we go. Google is now talking and typing for me. I can get out my ideas this way instead of the laborious process of using a pencil or a keyboard. Okay, that's going to be really fantastic for a lot of our learners. And then after they're finished with it, what they can do is go to check it. And looks like I didn't make any mistakes that time, but check it is a great writing tool that students can use to check for punctuation, grammar, and spelling, and it will give them correction suggestions. Okay. Another cool writing tool that we can have is prediction. So if we're starting to write, we can get a prediction to be fair and equitable. That's another tool that we could use. This might take some getting used to, but I guess depending on the learner, they might really enjoy that. The picture dictionary could be another one that would help us for homonyms where students aren't sure of words. Okay. Another good tool for sharing, understanding, and writing is the voice notes tab up here. Sorry, this one here, little voice note. So let's say I want to make a note on this. I can click the voice note, click our microphone, and I'm going to talk about how this question relates to me. I'm going to answer this. I'm going to stop it and comment and add that in for my teacher. The teacher could also use voice notes to respond to students' work in Google Classroom so that the student can hear their ideas. Okay, so voice notes is another great tool we could use. For research again, we have the vocabulary buttons, we have the picture dictionary buttons. Pardon me. And then one of my favorite research notes, if we had a larger text, we're not going to worry about that now though, is the highlighting tool. And we can highlight in a bunch of different colors depending what we want, right? Highlight colors. Try doing some green here. Maybe another blue. And then another green. And then another yellow, because those are all different areas that I'm looking into. We can go to collect highlights, right? It'll give us which colors we wish to choose. We can how we sort it. Open that up. This is going to open up a new document again. It's going to access your Google Drive and create a new document. So basically you have your research notes right here that you can start using in your own product, whatever you're learning. It also gives you a handy citation link here and whose account it was using with. So that could be a project in itself. Google Read and Write also works on PDFs most of the time. So it helps us to read it. We can do the caption read here, right? If we're not sure what that says here, it will take its time figuring out what's inside the little text box or the picture here on a PDF. And then we can get it to
Getting ideas down.
read to us. So that's another good research tool. If we're not using documents that allow the speech to text, we can use the screenshot reader. Okay. Adding shapes and drawings to things could also be something we could do, but I think that's in the Macintosh one. So we're not going to worry about that one now. What's this one here? The web search. Okay, let's we go to background. I'm not sure what that word is. I can go to the web search. Maybe I need to be in a web page for that. So we'll go by stomach acids. We'll go to web search and it will tell us what all those are. So if a student is interested in a certain part of a page, they could do further research through the research tab. Okay. The organization, again, that would be used in highlighting. This function here simply erases your highlights. And leave comments on PDFs, text to speech, and word prediction could also be used in organization. Okay. I hope you enjoyed my screenshot on Google Read and Write. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'd be happy to come and do a lesson with your students for it. And keep trying. Let the students play with it first. Bye now.